Costigan, and welcome to my podcast, 50 and Fabulous, sponsored by Main Street Mortgage. And today we have a very special guest, and I've known her through my boss ladies and I knew her through Westlake Rockstars as well, our team groups, and her name is Rebeca Arthur Golden. Hello there.
Hello.
Well, welcome, and I'm so happy to have you on the show. I've known you for probably a little over a year now, maybe a little bit longer. It seems kind of natural that we had one Rebeca, then we just replaced with the other Rebeca.
My partner was Rebeca.
Partner was named Rebecca, then we got the other Rebecca. So that was fun, and getting to know you and know a little bit more about your family and kind of your background and so forth. So I've enjoyed doing that. And I think I was going to dive right in and kind of just start talking to you about kind of, what you've done and your past and your passion and kind of what you've done through your life as far as work and raising your two daughters. It sounds like you're very involved with them in the school and being a PTA and every kind of group there was, you were running it. Okay, I know you've been married for, 27 years to Roger. And Roger is a business attorney.
Business and business litigation.
Yes, and you told me he is going to work until he dies.
That's his retirement plan. He'll say that I'm going to work till I die.
Okay, how about you?
I think I'll do the same.
You're going to work till you die?
Yeah, it's fun.
As long as you're having fun, because I don't think I'll have to work until I die.
I know. I guess we're just having fun.
You have to find out, honestly. I mean, you want to do something that you enjoy, and if it's like moving out of state and buying a house and, working this part-time at a bank and doing things that are just not this taking down that stress level a little bit. I've been talking a lot about that. So after visiting Tennessee and Nashville, I kind of know what my heart's right. I want to go. Yeah, I want to move. My daughter does too. So maybe in 5 to 7.
Funny.
It's kind of like my end game, But we're not talking about me today. I want to talk about you. So you have 2 daughters, and one is Stella and Lena.
Stella is 26 and Lena is 23. Well, probably should.
But that's okay. I know. Okay. Stella, what is she doing right now?
Stella is teaching art at a art conservatory high school of some sort. She is in entertainment design, and with all the strikes, obviously there wasn't a lot of work. So she some of her friends told her, well, they were going to go work there and teach art. So she jumped on the bandwagon. And so she's teaching art to high schoolers. And Lena is working at Disney in the legal division, helping them know how to use their tech.
So cool.
So I don't know.
They're living their best lives.
She's a little mover and shaker.
Yeah, that's great though. And I mean, they both went back east though to school, right?
Actually, Stella went to Art Center College of Design, which is right here in Pasadena.
Oh, okay.
But Lena went to NYU.
I thought so. Okay, thought one of you went to.
And I had gone to NYU too, so
I remember you guys are the NYU family. Yeah. Very cool, very cool. So
my husband went to UCLA. So he's a native. He lives here.
Yeah.
Well, he's always lived here. I mean.
So he's a UCLA guy and you're NYU girl. So very cool, very cool. So you were born in a very small town. You said in Western Maryland, and your dad was an engineer, but he died when you were just a little baby. You said
yes. He had a massive heart attack at home, and then I guess when they got him to the hospital, he had another one, and he didn't survive it. So my mom was stuck with us.
Yeah, 2 little Tads, and your brother was older.
My brother is 2 years older than I am.
So she had a kind of a tough way.
Yeah, she was like doing the single mom thing before, it was a single mom.
The single mom thing. That was kind of like my grandmother. She was a single parent, never remarried. She was a widow at 29, and she did that. That was the love of her life. And she just said, no one's going to be like him. So she did the single mom. I mean, he was 6 and 3. And she was 29 years old. And she ended up living down in Southern California from San Francisco her last 20 years of her life. So it was so nice that the family was all together. And she was a mover and a shaker. She was funny. So she had the wits about her. But I mean, you think about it. Single mom then is so different than when you talk about a single parent now for some reason. So you left your small town and you went to the University of Maryland College after Tell me about that.
Well, how that happened is, talk about my mother. It was hilarious. Um, I had this high school boyfriend that she
Say no more.
did not like, did not like him, and she was like, I know her plan was just to get me out of town, and she knew that I wanted to be in some way in show business. So every summer we would go, my dance troupe, we would go to Atlantic City and dance on the steel pier. Being out here, you don't know what any of that is. But anyway, a bunch of kids would do that. And dance studios you'd have a week where you danced on the steel pier on Tony Grant stars up.
Oh my God, that is so
hilarious.
cool.
So it was so much fun. But the last year we went, my mother pulled me out of bed one morning and said, "Get up, you have an audition." And I'm like, "I have a what?" And she said, "You have an audition." She dragged me over. The first casino had opened,
Okay.
and I had an audition to be an Afro jazz dancer for them. And she left me in Atlantic City dancing
By yourself?
by myself.
Oh my gosh.
I was.
She really was. She was helping you out.
Yeah, yeah. And so at the end of the summer, when my contract was over and I came home, she said, "Don't unpack. You've been accepted to the University of Maryland as a dance and theater major. We leave tomorrow."
How old were you?
18. And I went, okay. Because, well, I wasn't thinking about my future. She was.
She wanted this for you, of
She
course.
takes me down there. I end up down there with a suitcase full of like little disco dresses and dance clothes because I didn't pack for college. It was hilarious.
So you didn't really know what
I didn't know what I was doing. So
she knew she was going to have you do, but she wanted to get you away from the boyfriend and actually start you into what was going to be your future, but you just didn't know that yet. So after that little trip, how did you pursue getting into more appearances and acting? And...
Well, I was there for 3 semesters, met some of my closest friends in the world. I still am very close to all of them. And, but I knew I had to move to New York. Actually, the acting teacher I had at the University of Maryland said, "You need to go to New York. You need to get going on this now." So I went to New York. After 3 semesters at the University of Maryland, I transferred up to New York.
And when you went to New York, how long after that did you? This threw me. How long after that did you become or start getting into becoming a private investigator?
Well, that was an accident.
Yeah.
My whole career is just like a series of accidents.
Whoa, that's pretty fun.
So I went to this school. The first school I transferred to was not very good. I'm not going to name it. It wasn't very good. And the only thing I took away from there was I'm not ready to audition. So I had this idea that I'm not ready to audition because they would tell us that all the time. You're not ready to audition. You're not ready to audition. And if you go and you blow it, then, they'll never see you again. So I was like, I'm not ready to audition. So
I think you remember.
Only thing I took away from there. So then I went to NYU. I had this fabulous acting teacher. And even after I had graduated, I still was taking classes. And she, one day after I finished a scene, she said, "When are you going to do this?" And I was like, "Well, sorry. You can't come back until you go on an audition." And I never saw her again because I never went on an audition. By the time I did, I was done with, I was just on my,
You're ready.
I was ready. I had been ready.
Well, she's the one that actually prepped you.
She was kind of like, she pushed me out of the nest. So I ended up on an audition by accident, which was great because had I known I was auditioning for something, I would have left. And, but just,
Why would you say you had left? Just
because I
were scared.
like I went in there and they're like, "Do you have your picture resume?" I'm like, "No." They go, "Do you have
anything?
have you been up to anything? What have you been up to lately?" I'm like, "Nothing." And they said, "Do you have a monologue prepared?" And I'm like, yeah, I have a monologue. Yeah, sure, I have a monologue." So I pulled this thing out that I did in college. It was hilarious. And they started laughing, and I ended up getting the job. So,
It's like, what do they call it? Blonde ambition.
yeah, I am. And then after I finished my monologue, he said, "Well, how do I get in touch with you?" So I gave him my business card.
I love it. I love it. Okay, well, you were destined.
And that's when I was a private investigator because I was trying to get a job as a waitress. I couldn't get hired. And I answered an ad we used to have these 2 papers that were for show business. One was called Showbiz and one was called Backstage. And so there was an ad for actresses to train as private investigators. And I was like, that sounds like fun. So I show up and he's like, no, you're way too young. I'm looking for somebody who's given up, not somebody who's going to, and I was like, well, can I just get the training? Because I'm just curious what it's like. And he's like, well, how are you going to survive? And I go, I don't know. I'll figure that out. But can you just train me? And he's like, I'm going on vacation. I'll call you in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks later, he came back and he goes, okay, because they needed somebody like my age to go into high schools. So I ended up getting hired.
Wow.
So I worked for him for 3 years.
I was going to say, how long did you work with him? And
3 years.
3 years. And did you learn quite a bit from him?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. And did that lead you into your next roles, or is that what kind of brought you into Perfect Strangers, or how did that come about?
No, actually, I started working on soap operas.
Oh, that's right. Soap operas.
In New York, which is, they're just great. They're not around really anymore, but
I heard they're great training.
Great training because, you'd learn how to, not trip over the wires and, maybe.
Which ones did you work on?
Search for Tomorrow. That was
I remember my mom used to work. I remember the music from that one.
Yeah. I do too, because it was one of my grandmother's favorites.
My mom and my grandmother, but I remember the song of that one.
Yeah, I did that one. I made an appearance on Guiding Light and Santa Barbara when I was out here.
I don't remember that one.
But mostly Search for Tomorrow.
Okay.
And then I got an agent who said, you need to go to LA. That's, I was doing like comic relief stuff on soap operas. And they said, you need to go to Los Angeles and, where the comedy is. And I was like, So I came out for pilot season and I actually did get a pilot. So, and it was great. It was fabulous. But it didn't get picked up. They picked up the Golden Girls instead of us. I was like, that hurt. So then the next year,
and they ran a little bit. They definitely had their run.
Yeah, they definitely did. And so then the next year, I went for an audition for. I basically missed all of pilot season that year because I had the flu. I could not shake it. And then I got this audition in June for some show, and I remember I was looking at the script, the sides, and I was like, I don't like this character. This is not, this one doesn't speak to me. But this other one, there was like one little thing where this character says, hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a Sagittarius. And then this guy named, and of course we all said it as Bulky, and it's Balky. But, and he says, I'm Balky. I'm a Bartopoulos. And then he says, would you like to go out with me? I'm like, sure. So I said to the casting director, I said, I love this part.
You like this character?
Yeah, can I audition for her? And she said, well, we're casting both girls from, the role of Jennifer. And I was like, oh, okay. But Jennifer was the straight character. And I was like, all right, so whatever. So I read for Jennifer to get my role as Mary Ann. We changed her name. It's a long story. But she was Rachel, and then she turned into Mary Ann by the time we did the show. So they had done 6 episodes of Perfect Strangers before, and then they got picked up. And then we were in, I guess maybe we were in the first one of the one coming back. I'm not sure where that fell in. But then Melanie, who played Jennifer, she and I hit it off, and we're still really good friends to this day.
Well, I mean, you guys worked together for 8 seasons. How do you not become friends when you're working with someone all the time, day in, day out?
We went through a lot together. And so it was funny. We were on the phone together when our agents called us.
Oh, that's
to tell us that we were going back.
Aw.
And it was funny because, back then you had your call waiting.
Yeah.
And hold on. So I both were like, hold on. And we go back and my agent. It's my agent too. Call you back.
And that's good.
And that's when they said, they're bringing you back.
Oh, I love it.
And then they kept bringing us back. And then finally they offered us, after, I think 2 or 3 times, then they offered us a contract.
And then those run for a year, or it just depended, the contracts?
I think we signed for a year. But then the network would pick up our show sometimes 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
So we would, we just kept on rolling along.
Oh, I definitely remember your show, and I've actually gone and Googled you,
Yeah, well, it's still on Prime.
Oh, it is?
Prime.
Oh, yeah, I should watch it. I have
Google Perfect Strangers, but I'm not in the first, I think there's 6. The first 6.
Oh, yeah, I should watch it.
and then the rest of the 100 and some.
Well, gosh, you definitely had a great run with that, and you've definitely had some fun with the SAG. You still have your SAG card, you said.
I do.
Keep that
I
forever.
still vote on our SAG awards and all that.
They just went to, their writer's strike, another one, and it looks like it came
There's
to
an
an
actor
end.
strike.
Yeah, it came to an end finally, it looks like, which is good. So tell me, you did all this acting and you did so many things. You're, mom, PTA, all these good things, and now you're into fashion. You're a fashion designer almost. You run Cabby, or you sell Cabby.
I love Cabby. I
do
started
too.
doing that because I was telling you my daughters, I realized after Perfect Strangers was over, I still kept working for a while, and then when I got married, got pregnant with my first daughter, and I was doing a lot of voiceover work, which was really fun, easy, and that was easy. And then after I had Stella, it was pretty easy to take her along. She was portable, and she was quiet,
Right.
Feed her before you go in the booth, and it was all good. Then she started to get bigger, and then it started to get harder.
Yeah.
And then I went out of town. I was in Chicago shooting a film. And I remember having to talk to her on the phone and try to make her understand why I wasn't home.
Mom, you'll be back. Yeah.
It was awful.
I traveled too.
It just tore my heart out. And I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So then I stayed home. And then we had Lena. And then I stayed home.
When you stayed home more.
And then every time my manager would call, I started giving them Lena.
Yeah.
I was like, send her out.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of just retired from the whole thing. I think I had my share.
And transitioned in. Yeah, sometimes you know when it's time.
And then when they turned into teenagers, they were very, very fun to be around. I didn't enjoy them.
Yeah, I know.
So I ended up, it was like,
I have 2 daughters too.
yeah, so you know what I was going, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
Somebody takes their brains when they became 13.
and you're like, who are you?
Then when they become 20, they have the brain back.
It comes so fast. Yeah, I know it.
I'm like, wow, you're my daughter. Where'd you go?
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's so true with daughters. It is so true. 13 to 20.
Well, it was funny because after all that time, I was telling you, I went to work on this short film.
And I asked me,
And I remember the first day, it was down in Anaheim where we were shooting. The first day they called me in, and apparently they called me in at the wrong time. They called me in too early. So when I got there, they were like, we're so sorry. We brought you in too early. And I'm like, well, I gotta say, I don't mind because I'm just sitting here.
yeah, I'm relaxed.
I'm not doing anything. And there's a whole spread of food I didn't have to put out.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, don't you worry about it. Yeah, I'll sit here for hours. You want to give me a room, I can stay in the night.
I'm good. Really. Anytime you want me down here, I'll just hang out. But yeah, because when you're acting, it's all about me. It's all about me. Everything's about me. Once you have kids, you are just low man on the totem pole.
Well, and if you have kids and you're working, trying to do it all, I don't really know how I did it. I just did it. But I mean, I had wonderful, parents, mother-in-law that helped, sister pick up. When I was married, he helped me. I mean, I would drop off, he would pick up. That's how we really did it. Because my youngest daughter she had everything every day. She had a temperature, she had a body, her stomach hurt. This is the one that has 3 degrees and is going to nursing school, but she was sick her whole life. Oh, what's wrong today? Oh, it's my stomach. So she just hated school, but she turned out to love now what she's doing. And my oldest daughter was stuck in the books. She loved the books. So you have one of each, and then you really have to see how it's going to work with having 2, because you have definitely different personalities.
Oh yeah. Like one was a softball player and one was
My niece had a horse player.
was a horse rider.
Hey, it's a lot of dedication when they play sports or whatever they want to do. I've seen the dedication that my niece has. She's a D1 softball player for Northridge, and I saw what my sister and Julie and my brother-in-law, they really, for years and gave up. They were with her every weekend from she was this big all the way on.
Yes, we had to do all that travel softball.
Yeah, travel softball, and I followed along watching her, and just seeing her now is just amazing how far she's come. But okay, well, I think, you know what, we have covered quite a bit. I know you are the Miss Fabulous Cabby designer, and I'm so happy that we have you on Boss Ladies, and I'm always
So much fun. That had a great.
Isn't it the best? I just laugh. Well, I have to be serious. I was like, okay. But it's a great group of women, and I'm blessed to be on it as well. I've met some of my dear friends, and I've really enjoyed meeting you and getting to know you as well.
Me too, and thanks for the hairdresser.
Oh yeah, yeah.
See, boss ladies are great for that.
That's what our referral.
That's what we were referral for.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, for being on the podcast, and
Thank you for having
of
me.
course, I look forward to maybe doing some more in the future.
Okay,
Thanks. Bye.
go ahead.